When a human explorer named Kale saves a starving alien cub in the ruins of a fallen colony, he accidentally draws the attention of the child's mother, a powerful queen whose people once ruled the stars with fear. Grateful yet intensely curious about humans, Queen Lyra chooses to protect Kale, even as her own empire begins to hunt him. Her decision sparks suspicion, jealousy, and political danger across the galaxy. Soon, Kale and Lyra find themselves standing between two species on the edge of war. One built on domination, the other on hope. Their growing bond could bring peace or ignite destruction neither side can control. Rain hammered against the neon-lit streets of Outpost Helios 3, a dusty mining colony balancing on the edge of known space. Liam Hayes tugged the collar of his jacket tighter as he stepped out of his tiny apartment, recycling bin in hand. He didn't expect to find anyone out this late, especially not someone curled behind the cans, shivering and alone. But there she was, a small creature, barely reaching Liam's waist, covered in thin, bluish fur. Her ears drooped, and her eyes glowed faintly violet, large and terrified. She hissed weakly when she noticed him, her claws slipping on the wet pavement. Liam froze. "Kid. An alien kid. You all right?" he asked softly, voice calm despite his racing heart. She responded with a trembling whimper. Hungry. Exhausted. Liam had seen alien refugees around the colony. But this one? She looked different. Beautiful in a strange, ethereal way. And fragile. He knelt down slowly, reaching into his pack. He pulled out the only food he had, a packet of nutrient chips. He tore it open and placed it near her. At first she just stared, suspicious. But hunger won. She devoured the chips so fast she coughed from eating too quickly. Hey, slow down," Liam murmured, steadying her. She stared up at him again, tears in those glowing eyes. Then she leaned forward and nuzzled his hand. A little purr-like sound escaped her. Liam smiled nervously. "Where are your parents, kid?" She didn't understand the words, but she pointed toward the sky. A shaky gesture, then curled into a tighter ball, clearly terrified of whatever she had come from. Before Liam could ask more, bright blue lights flashed down the alley. A drone. Government type. Scanning. Unregistered alien life form detected. The drone's voice blared like a siren. Liam cursed under his breath. Any stray alien without documents would be taken away, and that rarely ended well. He scooped the little one into his arms. "Don't worry. I got you." The drone locked onto him. "Surrender the life form." Liam ran. His boots splashed through puddles. The cub clung to him, tiny claws gripping his jacket like her life depended on it. He dodged through a market stall, knocking over crates of fruit. A vendor shouted, but Liam couldn't stop. He burst into the back hallway of his building and slammed the access code. The door opened just fast enough for him to dive inside. The drone crashed into the door, but couldn't pass the shielded entry. Inside his cramped apartment, Liam set her down gently. She wobbled, then grabbed another food packet from his shelf, this time eating slower, like she didn't want to disappoint him. "You're safe for now," he whispered. She crawled closer and wrapped her small hands around his arm. "Liam." The word was broken but clear. He blinked. "You can talk?" She nodded. "Liam?" "Saved Tiri." "Tiri." He smiled. "That's your name." She nodded again, trembling less now. Liam leaned back on his couch, sighing. He had no idea what he was doing. Helping a lost alien kid wasn't on his weekend list. But he couldn't abandon her. Not now. "You'll stay here tonight, okay? We'll figure this out in the morning." Tiri curled up on a blanket he laid out, clutching a pillow like it was a treasured item. Within moments, she was asleep. Liam watched her, wondering where she came from and who might be looking for her. Then his apartment lights flickered. A low hum vibrated through the walls. Sensors scrambled. The air shimmered, and a tall figure materialized in his living room. She was breathtaking, powerful, 6'7" at least. Royal attire of black and silver armor. Skin smooth and slightly luminous. Dark tendrils like hair floated weightlessly behind her head. Eyes sharp, fierce violet, exactly like Tiri's. She surveyed the room, then found her child. Her expression changed relief, overwhelming love, followed by fury as her gaze shifted toward Liam. "You touched my daughter." Her voice echoed like thunder. Liam felt the temperature drop. She stepped closer, towering, elegant, and terrifying. "And now you belong to me." Liam's pulse thundered in his ears. The towering alien woman moved with predatory grace, each step silent yet full of purpose. Her armor glimmered with symbols he didn't recognize, but the authority in her posture said enough. "Queen, warrior, mother." Tiri stirred as if sensing her presence. "And Mama?" Her voice was tiny but filled with relief. The queen bent down, and a warmth washed over her sharp features. She brushed a hand along Tiri's cheek, and for a moment Liam saw something purely tender, a mother who had nearly lost everything. But then those violet eyes snapped back to him. "You sheltered my daughter," she said, voice low and lethal. "You fed her, protected her. That makes you hers." "I don't." Liam swallowed hard. "I was just trying to help a kid who needed food. And that choice," she cut in, "binds you to us. In my culture, such a guardian is claimed, honored, and kept close." Liam took a cautious step back. "Kept close? What does that mean?" "It means you are under my protection now." She leaned in, breath brushing his skin, cold, electric, alien. "Whether you want to be or not." The apartment's lights struggled against the energy radiating from her, flickering like candles in a storm. He could feel her presence pressing against him, not physically but mentally, an aura of dominance and command. "Listen," he said, voice shaky but trying to hold steady. "I'm human. We have our own laws, our own." She seized his wrist. In an instant, the world around him shifted, not visually but emotionally. His mind flooded with images, a massive starship exploding in orbit, armored soldiers hunting through the colony, Tiri screaming, alone, fleeing through dark alleys, and the Queen, ripping apart steel doors trying to reach her child. Pain, desperation, rage. Liam gasped, collapsing to his knees as she released him. She tilted her head, studying him. "You see now," she said softly, "why I will not let you go." Tiri stumbled toward Liam and hugged him tightly. "Liam, stay safe." He hesitated, then placed a protective hand on her shoulder. "I don't want anything bad happening to her, but you can't just force me into whatever this is." "Forced?" The Queen almost looked amused. The room dimmed further as a crackling ripple of energy sliced the air. A holographic screen appeared, broadcasting a wanted alert. Liam's name, his face, location tagged. The drone incident had already reported him. Unregistered alien harboring. Immediate arrest order. His blood went cold. "If my people find me with her," he whispered. "They will imprison you," the Queen finished. "Torture you for answers. Use you against her." She approached again, but slower this time, almost gentle. "You saved Tiri's life," she said, voice calmer. "Tell me, Liam Hayes, who will save yours now?" A sudden pounding rattled the door. "Open up. Colony security." A muffled voice shouted from the hall. Liam stiffened. The Queen's expression sharpened into something lethal and protective. She extended a hand to him. "You have one choice," she said. "Come with us, or be taken from her." Tiri reached up to him, her tiny fingers trembling. "Liam, please." The security door alarm chirped. They were hacking it. His heart hammered. Everything inside him screamed that following this alien queen was dangerous, possibly suicidal. But leaving would condemn the child who trusted him. The door lock beeped. Liam took a breath and grabbed the Queen's hand. A surge of energy engulfed them. The last thing he heard before they vanished was the door slamming open behind him, and confused shouts filling the room. The world flashed into a blinding column of light. Liam felt weightless, like gravity forgot he existed. A deep hum vibrated through his bones, and before he could fully panic, the light faded, revealing a massive throne room carved from radiant crystal. The ceilings soared high enough to hide in clouds of swirling energy. Enormous windows showed a star-swept nebula beyond, colors pulsing like living creatures. Alien guards stood in formation, tall, muscular, their armor flowing like liquid metal. Every eye locked onto Liam. Tiri clung to his side nervously, while the queen stepped forward with royal confidence. A guard approached, bowing sharply. "Your Majesty, we feared the worst. Our enemies dare hunt the heir to my throne," she said, power lacing every word. "But she is safe, thanks to him." The guard's eyes flicked toward Liam, a mixture of confusion and respect. Liam's heart pounded. "Throne? Hey, heir." Tiri looked up shyly and pointed at herself. "Tiri, princess." Liam's knees nearly buckled. Feed a starving kid in an alley. End up in a galactic throne room? This was beyond insane. The queen turned to him. "I am Queen Sarai of the Aeleri Dominion, and you have earned a debt that cannot be ignored." A holographic display activated before Liam, showing the drone footage, colony security, his apartment being stormed by soldiers. "You are an outlaw now," Sarai said, "marked by your own government as a traitor." The footage switched to another scene. Humans in dark uniforms, experiment chambers, alien children in cages. Liam's stomach twisted. This is what the Terran Colony Authority does to those they deem inconvenient. Sarai's gaze hardened. "You would have shared their fate if not for me." He staggered backward, grasping for support. "I didn't sign up for this. I just gave a hungry kid food. And that is precisely why you cannot be returned," she replied. "Your compassion is rare among humans." Tiri tugged his jacket, concern etched in her glowing eyes. Liam scared. He managed a shaky smile for her. "A little, yeah." The queen stepped close, towering, elegant, intimidating as ever. "You are under my protection. But protection alone is not enough." She circled him slowly, voice lowering into something dangerously seductive. "Among my people, when someone saves the royal bloodline, they are welcomed into the royal house. Always near, always close." Liam swallowed. "Define close." She stopped behind him, her breath grazing his ear. "By my side, bound to my family. To me." His heart tried punching its way out of his chest. Before he could respond, a violent quake shook the palace. Alarms shrieked. Guards shouted orders. Sarai's calm shattered, anger blazing in her eyes. "They found us." Outside, battleships tore through the nebula, black and angular, firing bright energy blasts. The throne room windows trembled under the assault. Liam instinctively shielded Tiri as explosions echoed across the structure. Pieces of glowing debris rained from above. A guard sprinted toward the queen. "My queen, they breached the outer ring. We must evacuate you at once." Sarai gritted her teeth. "The humans dare attack my sanctuary?" The guard hesitated. "Not humans, Majesty. The Drakhari." The queen's expression dropped into pure wrath. "They want the princess alive," the guard continued. "And they know about the human." Liam stiffened. "Me? Why?" Sarai turned toward him, not with fury this time, but dread. "Because your DNA matches a prophecy, one that could change the balance of the galaxy." Liam blinked. "What prophecy?" The ceiling cracked. Blazing shards fell. Sarai grabbed both Liam and Tiri, dragging them toward a glowing escape corridor. "The Drakhari believe a human, the one who protects the Aeleri heir, will one day command a power greater than any empire." Liam nearly tripped. "That sounds impossible." "Perhaps," she said, eyes blazing with dangerous certainty. "But they would risk a war to prevent it." The blast doors ahead sealed shut. Sarai turned to Liam, tension, fear, and something protective swirling in her gaze. "You saved my daughter. Now I must save you." Her hand rested against his chest, warm despite the chaos. "Because if you die, everything dies with you." The palace shook again, harder. A monstrous roar bellowed from the breach. Liam and Tiri clung to the queen as she raised her arm, summoning a swirling portal of shimmering darkness. "Stay close," she said. I will not lose either of you. They stepped through and vanished into the unknown. The world reassembled in a rush of disorienting colors. Liam staggered forward, catching himself on metallic flooring. They had emerged into a dimly lit chamber, walls of alien tech pulsing with soft blue veins of light. Tiri clung to his sleeve, wide eyes darting around the unfamiliar room. Queen Sarai scanned the shadows cautiously. Safe, for the moment. Liam took a shaky breath. Where are we now? A hidden bunker, Sarai replied. Deep within Illyri territory. Only the royal bloodline can access it. Liam gazed around. The place felt ancient, sacred, and unsettling. Why would the Drakhari care about me? He asked. I'm just a guy who works in a storage depot. I'm not special. Sarai stepped closer, studying him with eyes that saw through lies, even the ones he told himself. They believe you are the protector, she said quietly. A human destined to shape the fate of my daughter and the Dominion. He laughed nervously. That sounds like a bad sci-fi movie. It is our history, she insisted. Written in starlight long before you were born. She touched a panel on the wall, and a hologram shimmered into existence, depicting a human and a child with violet eyes standing before an entire fleet. They believe you will awaken a weapon or a miracle. Liam stared, speechless. Sarai lowered her voice. The Drakhari fear humanity because you adapt, survive, and fight even when logic says you should fall. Liam felt something twist inside, a mix of pride and dread. The bunker suddenly trembled as distant explosions rumbled through the structure. Sarai's posture hardened. They are tracking us. She crouched down beside Tiri, placing a hand on the girl's cheek. Little star, you must stay strong. Tiri nodded bravely, but her tiny hands shook. Liam knelt too, trying to offer comfort. Hey, you're the toughest kid I know. Tiri looked up at him with a small smile that could melt metal. A booming echo thundered through the halls. Guards shouted in the distance. The enemy was getting closer. Sarai rose to her full, intimidating height. We need to move. Now. They rushed down a corridor, lights flickering overhead. But halfway through, a squad of armored Drakhari warriors burst from behind a barrier. Massive reptilian figures with jagged armor plating, claws like knives. Their leader hissed, "Surrender the human. The child lives if you comply." Liam froze. Sarai stepped in front of him, energy aura crackling like lightning. "You will not touch what is mine." The warriors lunged. Sarai unleashed a blast that shattered the floor beneath them, sending several falling into the darkness below, but more replaced them instantly. One Drakhari vaulted over the queen and grabbed Liam by the throat, slamming him into the wall. Pain shot through his skull. "Human," the creature snarled. "Your existence ends here." Something primal surged inside Liam. Fear, rage, instinct. He swung wildly, and a burst of glowing energy exploded from his hand. The Drakhari warrior flew across the corridor like a rag doll, armor sizzling where Liam's fist had connected. Liam stared at his hand, faint blue sparks dancing across his knuckles. What was that? Sarai glanced back, eyes wide with shock and awe. It has begun. There was no time to question more. The corridor collapsed beneath them, and they sprinted forward through another passage, alarms blaring from every direction. Liam gasped for breath. "I don't know what I just did." "You awakened a fraction of what you are capable of," Sarai said, pulling him along. "And now they will stop at nothing to control you." The path opened into a chamber housing a sleek, obsidian-black vessel, almost alive with swirling runes across its hull. "This is my fastest stealth craft," Sarai said. "We escape now or die here." But before they could reach the ship, a towering Drakhari brute slammed down from the ceiling, blocking their path. It roared, and energy blades erupted from its arms. Sarai shoved Tiri into Liam's arms. "Protect her." The queen lunged forward, clashing with the monster, sparks and shockwaves tearing through the room. Liam clutched Tiri close, desperate to run, but the ship controls sealed themselves. The security lock. Biometrics required. Tiri pressed her small hand to the console. The ship responded instantly, ramp lowering with a hiss. Liam blinked. Princess privilege. Got it. They rushed inside as the battle raged on behind them. Sarai fought like a goddess of war, but the Drakhari elite were overwhelming in sheer force. More swarmed into the chamber. She was outnumbered 20-1. She glanced back at Liam, breath rapid, energy pulsing like fire around her. Take off, she commanded. No, Liam shouted. We're not leaving without you. Her voice cracked with something she rarely showed, fear. If I fall, she whispered, Tiri must live, and you must protect her. The brute slammed her hard against the wall, armor denting under the impact. She staggered, blood on her lips. Another warrior aimed directly at Tiri. Liam screamed. Power building again, but Sarai intercepted the shot, shielding her daughter with her own body. Light exploded. The last thing Liam saw as the ship's blast doors slammed shut was Queen Sarai collapsing to her knees, surrounded. Tiri let out a broken cry. Mama! The ship engines roared, and they were launched into the void, leaving the Queen behind. The stars stretched into long silver lines as the stealth ship jumped to faster-than-light speed. Liam stumbled forward, clutching Tiri as she sobbed uncontrollably into his chest. Her small hands shook, her cries sharp and desperate. Mama! Mama! The sound tore him apart. He lowered himself to the floor, holding her tightly. Hey, it's okay. We're gonna get her back. I promise. The cockpit flickered alive, mysterious alien symbols glowing across the screens. The ship itself seemed to sense Tiri's distress, dimming the lights and humming softly as if trying to comfort her. Liam stroked her back, though his own heart felt like shattering glass. Queen Sarai, fierce, unstoppable, terrifying, had fallen, because she chose to protect him. What was he supposed to do now? A hologram suddenly flared up, an AI interface forming as a gentle feminine voice. Royal air detected. Emergency protocol initiated. Liam looked up sharply. Emergency protocol? The AI shifted to analyze him. Unknown human biological signature. Power anomaly detected. Then, after a brief pause, Protector confirmed. Liam's stomach tightened. Don't start that prophecy stuff again. Tiri wiped her eyes, still trembling. Mama hurt. I know, he whispered, hugging her again. And she risked everything so we could escape. His guilt weighed heavy. But then something shifted in Tiri's expression. Her eyes flickered, glowing brighter than before. Liam, help Mama. The determination in her voice was tiny, but unbreakable. Liam stood, taking a deep breath and facing the control panels. All right, how do we find her? The AI responded instantly. Tracking royal biometrics. Signal unstable. Life signs critical. Tiri gasped, covering her mouth. That means she's alive, Liam said. We still have a chance. But his relief didn't last long. The hologram changed, showing a star map with red markers closing in. Drakhari pursuit ships, dozens of them. They already located us? Liam shouted. The AI answered with the calm of a machine that didn't fear death. They want the human. The prophecy warns. If the Protector survives, the Dominion shall rise stronger than ever. Liam glared. Then let's prove the prophecy is right. He moved toward the pilot seat, and then stopped. I have no idea how to fly a spaceship. Another learning panel lit up. Autopilot engaged, the AI said. But defense requires manual intervention. Liam glanced down at Tiri. Looks like you and I are about to play hero. She nodded, wiping her tears but not hiding her fear. She climbed up into the co-pilot chair, legs dangling. The console reshaped to her touch, forming smaller controls perfectly suited to her tiny fingers. Her eyes widened. Ship know me. That's right. Liam smiled faintly. You're royalty. Outside the viewports, the stars rippled, energy signatures approaching fast. Warning, incoming fire. A blast rocketed the hull, throwing Liam forward. Alarms blared. The ship shuddered. Tiri screamed and held tightly to the controls. AI! Liam shouted. Weapons! Panels unfolded, revealing holographic targeting systems. Plasma lances armed. Shield integrity 82%. Liam clenched his jaw. Let's do this. He grabbed the targeting handles. The moment his fingertips touched the triggers, that same strange energy surged through him. The weapon system lit up brighter than the ship designed, overloaded with human instinct. Rows of Drakkari fighters swooped toward them like predators on the scent. Liam fired. Bright blue plasma arced through the void, precise, powerful, unlike anything the Dominion used. 3 enemy fighters exploded in a flash of orange. Tiri gasped. Liam, you strong. He breathed heavily, trying to steady himself. I don't know how I'm doing this. Another barrage slammed them sideways, sparks showering from the ceiling. Shields dropping, the AI warned. Tiri slammed her hand on a console, and the shields flickered back to life, stronger than before. The ship recognized her panic and translated it into power. Liam stared at her in awe. You're doing it too. You're keeping us alive. Tiri gave a fierce nod. Save Mama. Save you. Those 4 tiny words ignited something in him, something more powerful than any prophecy. Humans didn't need destiny to fight. They just needed someone worth saving. He braced himself, eyes locked on the pursuing fleet. More ships filled the screen, an entire squadron now. But Liam didn't flinch. His voice was calm, steady, full of stubborn human fire. You want me? He muttered. Come and get me. He launched another attack, energy bursting through the cannons like a living force guided by pure will. Drakkari ships fell one by one. Yet it was clear they couldn't just run forever. Sarai was still alive, barely, and he refused to abandon her. We're going back, Liam said firmly. The AI hesitated. Return is impossible. Drakkari forces don't care, he snapped. Plot a course to the Queen. We're saving her. Tiri reached over and took his hand. Tiny but steady. We together. The AI analyzed them both. And then, course set, activating stealth pulse. Liam tightened his grip. Hold on. The engines roared as a wave of shimmering distortion bent the light around them, cloaking the ship from enemy sensors. They streaked back into the nebula where the Queen had fallen. Liam's voice was quiet, but filled with iron. No more running. His eyes blazed with the spark of something unstoppable. One human is coming for a queen, and the galaxy is about to regret ever threatening her child. The stealth ship plunged back toward the war zone, and Liam Hayes wasn't scared anymore. He was ready to show the universe exactly what a human could do. The alarms kept screaming across the massive alien fortress as Lyra forced her way deeper into the core chamber. The walls around her pulsed with strange blue veins, like the entire structure was alive and breathing. Every step she took, the floor shifted beneath her boots as if it resented her presence. Behind her, the echo of distant explosions reminded her how quickly time was slipping away. Humans didn't have many seconds left to stop what was coming. Kale limped after her, one arm across his ribs where a razor drone had sliced through his armor. He was breathing hard, but his eyes never left her. Lyra, slow down, he said, voice rough. You're bleeding. She looked down and saw the dark streaks down her thigh, but she ignored them. We both are, she replied, and we both knew this wouldn't be a clean mission. He tightened his jaw, refusing to argue further. The core is ahead, he said instead. But once we breach it, there's no fallback plan. That's the point, she whispered. Suddenly, static-filled voices crackled through Kale's compiece. It was Captain Arden. Lyra, Kale. Do you read? The enemy fleets, they've activated the Skyfall protocol. They're planning to collapse the entire orbital corridor. Every ship, every soldier. They'll bury Earth's skies under an avalanche of debris. Lyra froze for a heartbeat. The Skyfall protocol wasn't just war. It was extermination. How long do we have? She asked. 16 minutes. Maybe less. The captain's voice shook. If the core isn't disabled by then, we all burn. The transmission cut out with a shriek of interference. Kale cursed under his breath. 16 minutes? We're not even through the front door yet. Lyra lifted her pulse rifle and set her shoulders. Then we make a door. She fired point-blank into the shimmering wall of force blocking their way. The impact knocked her back, but a crack spider-webbed across the surface. Kale joined her, blasting the barrier until it shattered like glass. Inside was silence, a chamber vast enough to hold a city. At its center hovered a swirling, sun-bright sphere, the quantum core. It radiated energy so strong the air hummed and vibrated. But something else stood before it. A tall figure in black armor, motionless as a statue. He turned slowly. Kale's breath caught. No, that can't be. Lyra felt the world tilt. She recognized the face beneath the shattered helmet. Commander Wraith? She whispered. Her old mentor. The man who taught her everything. The man whose ship had been declared lost 3 years ago. His eyes were lit with the same cold glow as the core. Lyra, he said, his voice mechanical and wrong. Stand down. What did they do to you? She demanded. I saw humanity's fate, he replied. We survive only by becoming them. He raised a hand, metal fingers gleaming. The drones on the ceiling stirred like awakened predators. Kale stepped in front of Lyra. You're insane if you think she's surrendering. Wraith tilted his head, not at Kale, but at the star-burning core behind him. You have 14 minutes, he said calmly, and only one choice. Destroy the core and doom the fleet outside, or join the integration and save what remains of our species. Lyra's pulse roared in her ears. Explain. Now. Wraith took a slow step closer, the lights on his armor flickering like dying stars. If the core goes offline, the Skyfall protocol triggers automatically. Earth's orbit will collapse. Millions die. Then we shut it down another way, she insisted. There is no other way, Wraith said. The universe adapts or it dies. Kale's hand tightened around his weapon. You're not protecting humanity. You're rewriting it. Wraith raised a hand, and the ground trembled. The chamber sealed behind them. The drones descended, and the core began to pulse faster. Lyra swallowed hard. Her body shook, not from fear, but from fury. You think I'm here to choose who lives? She whispered. Wraith's eyes narrowed. That is exactly why I trained you. She stepped forward, lifting her rifle until it was aimed at the head of the man she once trusted more than anyone. No, she said. You trained me, so I could stop monsters. His expression finally changed, just a flicker of something like regret. 13 minutes, he said softly. Kale leaned closer. Lyra, he's stalling. We have to move. Drones circled them like sharks. The countdown hammered in Lyra's mind. Millions of lives. One impossible decision. She breathed in. We're ending this, she said. Wraith's voice echoed. Commanding, cold, absolute. Then humanity dies standing. The drones lunged. Lyra fired first, and the entire fortress exploded into war. The chamber erupted into chaos. Lyra ducked under a swarm of razor drones, firing in short, precise bursts. Kale moved with brutal efficiency beside her, smashing one machine into another with a shout of rage. Sparks rained down like shooting stars. Commander Wraith stood calm and motionless, watching her fight as if judging her worth with every move. 12 minutes, he said, his voice a cold reminder that time was bleeding out faster than her wounds. Lyra rolled behind a cover module, panting. She could feel her heartbeat in her ears, every thump counting lives. Kale slid in next to her, grabbing a sharp fragment from his arm. This isn't just a fight, he said. He wants you to break. Lyra's throat tightened. I don't have time to break. The core pulsed brighter, the countdown accelerating. Wraith raised his hand and the remaining drones shifted, merging into a single hulking sentinel of twisting steel. Its eyes burned blue, its claws scraping sparks across the floor. It roared. The shockwave hurled Kale across the floor. Lyra screamed his name, but her voice vanished beneath the thunder of the sentinel's charge. She braced herself and fired a pulse rifle blast straight into its chest. The energy struck, but the monster absorbed it, growing stronger. "It feeds on conflict," Wraith called out, almost proudly. "Like evolution itself." Lyra stared in horror as the sentinel advanced. She dropped the rifle. Fine. She would feed it something else. She sprinted toward Kale, the sentinel lunging after her. But instead of running away, she slid beneath its legs and sprang up behind it. Grabbing the rifle it had absorbed, she yanked the weapon free, then jammed the barrel into the glowing power node on its spine. "Try digesting this," she spat. She squeezed the trigger. The blast ripped the machine apart, a bloom of metal petals exploding outward. Lyra shielded herself from shards, breath ragged. Kale groaned on the floor. She rushed to him, lifting his head into her lap. "You good?" she whispered. He smiled faintly. "Better when you're close." Even now, he found strength in teasing her. She almost laughed. Then a shadow fell over them. Wraith stood only a meter away. Lyra tensed, ready for anything. Fight, negotiation, or death. Wraith's face shifted, something human flickering there. "You've proven yourself," he said softly. "But strength through destruction is not victory." He reached up and removed a damaged plate of his armor. Inside, where a heart should have been, a fragment of the quantum core pulsed with life. Lyra's blood turned cold. "They rewrote me," he said. "Made me the failsafe. If the core dies, so do I." Kale struggled to sit up. "That's not a failsafe. That's chains." Wraith didn't deny it. 10 million soldiers in orbit rely on the core. Shut it down and they fall. Leave it, and Earth becomes a breeding pit for an empire not its own. His eyes, her mentor's eyes, locked onto hers. "There is a third option," he whispered. "But only you can trigger it." Lyra swallowed. "Tell me." He stepped closer, lowering his voice so only she could hear. "You must connect with the core. Merge. Force evolution into a new path." Lyra's heart stopped. "You want me to become what you are?" "No," he whispered. "You would become what I couldn't. Something between species. Something neither side can own." Kale grabbed her wrist, desperate. "Lyra, no. They'll control you. Or she'll control them," Wraith countered. She looked between the two men, her past and her future, and the core blazing like a star awaiting ignition. 9 minutes. Kale's voice cracked. "There has to be another way. You can't sacrifice yourself." Lyra brushed a trembling hand along his cheek. "What if it's not a sacrifice?" she asked quietly. "What if it's evolution?" He grabbed her fingers, refusing to let go. "Lyra, I didn't follow you all this way just to lose you." She leaned close, forehead to his, the moment too short, too fragile for the end of the world. Then she stood. Wraith extended his hand. Lyra placed hers into it. The core flared, swallowing them both in blinding light. Memories surged through her. Every human struggle, every alien triumph, every scar, every hope, stitching themselves into something entirely new. Her body lifted from the ground, hair rising like flame. Kale shielded his eyes, calling out for her. "Lyra!" But the voice that answered wasn't just hers. "We are not done." The fortress shook as energy raced through its structure. Not destroying, rewriting. Outside in orbit, ships stumbled, then steadied, systems glowing a new human blue. The skyfall sequence stopped. Wraith collapsed, free at last, tears on metal cheeks. Lyra descended slowly, eyes shimmering with power not born of war, but choice. Her voice rang across starship channels and battlefield frequencies. "Humanity does not die standing. It rises. Together." Kale stared up at her, terrified, relieved, in awe. "Lyra, what are you now?" She smiled, and it was still her. "Hope." The chamber doors opened, the galaxy waiting, and Lyra walked forward into a future no war had planned.